my name's Chris. I live in Australia and the cost of living crisis is gutting the country right now. I've done a lot of videos talking about the cost of living crisis, but I've been talking a lot about the working class. So I've been mentioning the median income, the people smack bang in the middle. But today I want to have a look at the other end of the spectrum, not the rich end, not smack bang in the middle, but I want to have a look at the lowest class. I want to have a look at the people on Social Security and how that could be in the cost of living crisis. So the question that I have today, and you guys help me answer it, is it possible to live off Centrelink? So this question crossed my mind because me and my fiance, we're paying about $700 a week right now on rent. And I thought that's pretty expensive. So I had a look around on the market, around the area that I live, and there's not too much cheaper out there. Maybe I can find a $50 saving, but I know that on the cheaper ones, there's going to be 100 applications that come through to try and get them. But even at $700, or if I found $650 or something like that, it crossed my mind that if I lost my job or I fell ill, or my partner also lost her job and she fell ill, or so we're both unemployed, if that happened, we wouldn't be able to pay for our rent off the Centrelink payments that we get through. In fact, I did the math and the numbers on it, and if we both got Centrelink on Job Seeker, and we're trying to pay $700 a week rent right now, it would be 85% of the payment going straight across to the landlord. So we'd have very little to be able to eat. It wouldn't be affordable. We'd actually lose the house. Because we'd have to eat at some point and we'd miss rent payments, fall behind on rent, and we'd get evicted. So running through the math, including rental assistance and stuff like that, I worked out that each of us would have $60 per week to live off, and the rest of it would be going straight to rent. And $60 per week, you can't live off that. All your bills, all your food, all your expenses in life, your cost of living can't be done for $60 a week. So that's where I had the question. If I've done the numbers where I live right now, is it possible anywhere in Australia right now to live off Centrelink? So in this video, to try and answer the question, I'm going to run through a budget. I'll put a budget together and I'm going to see if it works on for pensioners, and I'm going to see if it works for the job seeker. Okay, but here's just a couple of cadences to it. So this is factoring that you do not own your own home, okay? So you have to pay rent out on the private market, and you're also not getting social housing right now. So if you're falling on hard times, you're falling sick, or you're on the pension and you've lost your place for whatever reason, and you have to go out in the private market, no support from the government with housing or anything like that, what would it look like? So for the pension right now, including the maximum rental assistance you can get, it's $1,390 per fortnight. And for the job seeker, single person, no kids or anything like that, just on job seeker getting the maximum rental assistance, I think it's $212 per fortnight. The total payment works out to pretty much $1,000 per fortnight. So I've put together a hypothetical budget here. I'm just going to read it off the screen. So groceries and household for the person, $110 per week. That's your food, laundry, liquids, whatever you need around the house, $110 per week. Your car, $70 per week. That's your fuel. That's your maintenance on the vehicle. That's your vehicle registration across the year, your insurance for the vehicle. Kind of package that all together across the year. If you average it out, it's going to be $70 a week. I've put down phone or data plan, $15 per week. So you being connected to the world, having a phone with, whether it be prepaid, whether it be a plan, whatever it might be, $15 per week, try and make it work. And I'll put down $25 per week for entertainment and leisure. So maybe it's that cup of coffee, maybe it's your Netflix subscription, maybe it's just the small little basic things, I guess, the smallest things, just so you have a minimum quality of life. $25 per week. I've put that into the budget. So the total across for the budget is $440 per fortnight. So we take that $440 per fortnight off of, say, the job seeker who's earning $1,000 per fortnight. That will leave you per week with $280 to cover rent, electricity, and water. Now, having a look around on realestate.com, I looked at a couple of different cities. You will not get a single bedroom unit or anything like that for $280 a week, including electricity and water. Or if you do it a little bit cheaper to factor, $30 a week towards electricity and water, say $250 a week, you will not find it. So your only options, essentially, to find room for rent. A share house. So you've got a share house, you cannot find it. If you are in the house right now, that's them numbers, go have a look at the market. You hold on to dear God to that place, all right? Because there is nothing out there. You cannot get a single unit, a single bedroom for yourself, your own space at $250 to $280 a week right now. I just could not find it. It was all room for rent. And by the grace of God, if you do find a place that's $250 a week rent, I tell you, I'll bet my bottom dollar on it that there's going to be 100 different applications coming through for that single property. Only one person can be successful for it. Now, single person on the pension, there's a little bit more breathing room. So after you subtract out them costs, that $440, you're going to be left with, I've got the number written down here, $460 a week for your rent, your electricity, and your water. Now, that sounds a little bit better, but the one thing that's not factored in on for our pensioners, our people living out their golden years in retirement, the other cost that we need to add in is out-of-pocket medical costs. So the average out-of-pocket medical cost for our seniors, I checked it out, it was about $1,600 per year, which averages about $30 per week. So we need to take that $30 per week off the value. So 460 minus 30 is $430 per week to cover your rent, electricity, and water. So could you find a unit or a villa or somewhere in a retirement over 50s community for $400 to $430 per week? Yeah, you probably can. You'd just be scraping in, I think, but each year that goes by, that value is going up further and further. And the last check I did on the increases to Social Security looked like about $4.60 per week. So that $4.60 per week is going to keep up with this housing market. I don't know. I don't know where they're getting the numbers from. It's not working. So it's pretty much housing. Housing is sucking up the majority of the payments. We're in a housing crisis, there's an affordability crisis, an availability crisis. There's a lot of demand for housing right now, both for people trying to buy them and for people just trying to get into one, okay? There is a huge demand right now. So I guess when you start looking at these budgets across for it, for the single person, that's a struggle. It's struggle street. Now, if you're a couple and you're both on Centrelink, it's going to help out a little bit better. So, you know, partner up, pair up, and maybe you can get that one bedroom unit and then split the rent 50-50 with each other. That seems to be the only way to do it. So a couple on the pension, they get paid close to the highest. So they're paid pretty well on it. But a couple on job seeker, they can probably just scrape through on a single bedroom unit. They might be able to just get into it. But there's other problems, of course, I'll address in a different video, which could limit them being able to get into the private market in the first place. But yeah, I've tried playing with these numbers and, you know, the numbers just keep going up. We've got inflation kicking in. Each year goes up higher and higher. Your grocery bills are going up. Your rent's going up. The payments from, you know, for Social Security doesn't seem to be going up in anywhere close to comparisons for it. Everything is going up. And I guess when prices keep going up like this, it's kind of like a ladder being raised, okay? As the ladder goes up, more and more people are kind of grasping, trying to grab that bottom rung, but it just doesn't seem to be happening right now. And I think we're finding more and more people being left behind. So currently the wait list for social housing, which seems to be a solution, social housing provided from the government for people who can't afford the private market anymore, there's a wait list of 220,000 applications. That's huge. But if rent keeps going up higher and higher each year, which we've been seeing happening, so say in 5 years' time, rent's gone up another $200 per week, another 10 grand per year. And people on Social Security are barely affording it right now, if they can even afford it. Correct me in the comments, guys. Can you afford it right now? But if it goes up another 10,000 over the next 5 years, an extra $200 per week in 5 years' time, well, these payments here, even the pension couple, they can't afford that. That's too much. Okay, that's absolutely grinding it out. Let alone the job seeker. The job seeker doesn't stand a chance in hell. And I haven't even touched around, but they're also in it. People on disabilities, people who have fallen sick, people who can't work full-time jobs or anything like that, people who need help from our government. So they're all going to be left behind. Our pensioners, people with disabilities, those falling on hard times, all going to be left behind. The government has clearly stated time after time, and their policies reflect it, that they want housing prices to keep going up. When housing prices go up, well, rent follows in hand, doesn't it? So rent goes up as well. And if that's the way they want it to be, well, so be it. Let the game of monopoly continue. Let the working class keep trying to reach forward, try and grab that bottom rung of the ladder to get onto it. But as more people are left behind and can't reach that bottom rung, the government needs to start to build infrastructure to support the people being left behind. For those being left behind right now, whether because they've fallen on hard times, they've lost their job, whether they've gone past their working years, they're on a pension, they've got a limited income coming through, and they just can't keep their head above water, whether you're on a disability and you're struggling right now, whether any of them situations, you currently do not have a snowball's chance in hell in 5 to 10 years down the track if housing keeps going up, because your rent's going to keep going up. And if you have not bought a house, and let's be honest, guys, a bank's not going to give a loan to buy a house to a person on a pension. Anyone on Centrelink, on Job Seeker, a bank is not going to give you a loan for a house, okay? So you're always going to be renting. And if rent prices keep going up higher, you don't have a snowball's chance in the Simpson Desert of getting by unless something starts to change. We're currently at a wait list of 220,000 trying to get onto social housing, okay? There's not enough social housing. There's 120,000 people in Australia homeless currently. Homelessness is increasing in the country as that ladder gets ripped up higher and higher. Now the government, they've turned around and said, yeah, you beauty, we are going to do $10 billion and we're going to build 20,000 social houses and 10,000 low-cost rentals for frontline workers. You beauty. Okay, 20,000. That's less than 1/10 of the current wait list of people trying to get into housing. It's not enough. It's not even close to enough. The government's created this crisis, this housing crisis that we're in right now, and their actions are too little, too late. We need drastic change now. In my next video, I'm going to show you one way that we can solve the housing crisis in Australia. And it's going to be a full-blown attack on these bureaucrats, on these disgusting politicians with their snouts in the trough, just absolutely rotting the system. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to expose them, one way that we could balance the books out and create social housing across for everyone who's struggling in the country, build the infrastructure for the next generation of this country as well, simply by shifting some funds out of their pockets across to the people who need it the most. But if you're out there, let me know your thoughts. How are you surviving in all this right now? Are you getting by? Are you going backwards? The comment section's yours. And tune in, hit subscribe if you want to see me have a full go at the government on the next video. And yeah, guys,